Oh yes, difficulties in life. I intended to make it better, not better, never quit. Because those who quit never win. Everything in its own time will be beautiful. Say trust and believe as you believe in God, believe in yourself to change your story around. Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of today's paper. Oh, yes, this is where we look into issues making news in the printing media. It's on the Friday, the last day in the month of March. And it's great to be here. We are your presenters, Abraham Parker and
Liberia-VOL.
Indeed, this presentation promises to be good. It's on the weekend. What happens on the weekend? Too many things happen, on the weekend. Or the revision of local dailies, issues making news in the printing media. Right here on Voice of Liberia 104.1 and Voice of Liberia TV on Facebook, Voice of Liberia. It's great to be here. But before we can join some of the papers making news, let me just join my colleague. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, Abraham. Good morning, how are you?
It's on the Friday.
Of course, it's the weekend.
Sparkling, moving, and you look so charming, gorgeous on the television this afternoon.
Thank you, that's so nice of you. As you can see, I'm wearing my dark glasses because it's the weekend. Yeah.
What is beyond the weekend? Too many things run to mind. Whenever it is a weekend, to have a lady like this, beautifully dressed. Those of you listening, folks, I think you're missing something. You just need to go on Voice of Liberia TV and see the lady beyond the camera. She is so beautiful. So what's going on? It's on the Friday, though.
We had a long week from Monday to Thursday. And as usual, Friday is the day to spice things up, to enjoy yourself, because it's just one life to live. But you gotta be careful while living that life.
Did I hear you say enjoyment?
Yeah.
What runs to mind whenever the word enjoyment is being mentioned?
You gotta satisfy yourself. You gotta go out, have fun, things like that. Mingle with friends, do new things, explore yourself. And just that, and get ready for the next Monday.
Who is the political chair for today's enjoyment, like you said?
I can say I am.
So you the chair, right?
Of course.
So you got everything as it relates to the weekend.
Everything.
Enjoyment. There's a Liberian song called Enjoyment. But it's great to be here, folks. So we'll be featuring 4 local dailies, issues making news in the print media. On our template this morning, we have the Oracle News Daily. And this paper says, reporting the truth to you, nothing else but the truth. What happens? It is on 147 Crown Hill Broad Street, Friday, March 31st, 2023, volume 1, number 005. And this paper is sold for $40 Liberian. Oh, yes, too many interesting story on this newspaper. That's the Oracle News Daily, reporting nothing but the truth. The front page of the Oracle newspaper reads, Ellen back in UP's politics. What am I hearing? Ellen back in UP's politics.
Sounds interesting.
Oh, yes. We're talking about former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. As per the Oracle newspaper, is back in United Party's politics. And you see the photo of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf smiling. Those of you viewing it, is interesting that you get a gist of this particular newspaper.
And get a copy also.
Yeah, so that's a copy. You see former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, beautifully dressed. Oh, yes, smiling on this paper. She never forgets about her glasses. You can get a gist of this paper right here
I think it's one of the latest because I saw this paper all over the market this morning.
Okay. So the next story says, Asila Mental Dingoes Railroad Monopoly. You know, the Steve Giant is talking about investment. The very last time we talked about the Steve Giant was the budget, when they talked about the investment of over 8 million. Many Liberians were concerned. So Asila Mental is back in the news. We'll get the gist of that particular development coming up right here. But the back page of the Oracle News Daily, where it reports nothing but the truth. It says, Gepro Massacre ordered Waterside Massacre. You know, the war, during the war, something, or people who were held accountable, or people who were involved, are still going through investigation. So Western's Gepro Massacre ordered Waterside Massacre. But there's a story here that is very, very interesting that we need to bring out from the Oracle News Daily. Right in the right corner on the back page of the Oracle newspaper, it says, Equatorial Guinea Conference marked broad deaths. Wow. I can remember sometimes back the Ministry of Health confirmed the issue of the outbreak of the Marburg disease that's a virus in Guinea, neighboring Guinea. But it scares Liberians from the Oracle newspaper saying that Equatorial Guinea Conference Marburg deaths. Hope we can get the gist of this development right here on this paper. But let me just read what the Oracle newspaper says right here from the back page before heading to that particular interesting development on the front page of the Oracle newspaper. It says Equatorial Guinea confirms Marburg deaths. The provisional tour of the Marburg virus disease epidemic has been ranging for more than 2 months in Equatorial Guinea, stands at 9 confirmed deaths, the Ministry of Health said on Thursday. On Wednesday, the World Health Organization called on Equatorial Guinea to report cases of the Marburg virus to aid due to fears more widespread confirmation than announced. On March 23rd of this year, the World Health Organization mentioned 7 confirmed deaths, announced that it was aware of 20 cases probably caused by the fever, all of whom died. But let's give you this development right here before I cross over to Samira, who is beautifully dressed and ready for the weekend. Ellen back in UP's politics. This paper is sold for $40 Liberian. They say former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is linking up with a unity party after nearly 6 years of separation. The veteran politician has been holding talks with a deputy Joseph Boakai, Liberia's former vice president, who now has the former ruling party as they bid to retake state power. People with knowledge of the interaction have told the Oracle News Daily. Ellen Johnson regrets not backing the Unity Party in 2017 campaign, which saw it crouching out of office, but maintains she did not support the Coalition for Democratic Change and President George Weah. Is this an open confession from the Oracle newspaper linking former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? It continues, which was just a neutralist, according to her role played to facilitate a smooth democratic transition in a country emerging from armed conflict. One so said, it is God that has kept us alive to see what is going on in our country. The former president, 84, is on record of saying that as per the former president's count. Okay, Vice President who will be challenging Weah for the presidency in this October. When Boakai asks, so how do you see the country? The 18 leader says she was displeased the pair blind, the breakdown in relationship to competing interests of rival supporters within the party. Page 10 is the continuation of the story, but do yourself justice by going for the Oracle newspaper. So we'll cross over to my colleague to bring you what's trending in your hand.
Let's keep the ball rolling with Daily Observer newspaper. In its volume 23, number 58 of Friday, March 31st, 2023 edition. And this paper is sold for 40 Liberian dollars. So the first headlines on the Daily Observer says, we as Executive Order number 117 challenged at Supreme Court. And flipping down to my right, it reads, China Union to resume mining operations shortly. Promises 3,000 Liberian jobs when fully operational. And down to my far right, this headline says, 2023 elections. TSM look at ways voter fraud happens in Liberia. And that was the front page of the Daily Observer newspaper. Let's flip to the back and see what it has for us. The first headline at the back says, pick Senator Kanka Lawrence or be rejected. Grand Bassa District number 3 representative aspirant warns VP Bwaka. The last headline for the back of the Daily Observer says, LRA hosts strategic meeting with joint ECOWAS, WAMI and WAMA mission. Now let's take a look at the latest development that reads China Union to resume mining operations shortly. And it's right here on page 3. And it reads, the management of China Union Bank Mining Company in Liberia has assured the provision for more jobs. The management said the provision of jobs for skilled and unskilled workers, as well as highly qualified Liberians for top managerial posts, will also be prioritized following the full resumption of iron ore mining at bone mines. The Liberian News Agency, quoting the CEO of the company, Mr. Bob Punk, who spoke during an interpreter, said China Union was resuming its mining operations following years of closure as a result of the low price of iron ore on the world market. Mr. Punk further disclosed that upon the resumption of full mining operations, over 3,000 Liberians will benefit from employment opportunities ranging from skilled, unskilled workers to managerial positions with the company. And I think that's a great news. Over 3,000 Liberians, skilled, unskilled, will get a job. And we look forward to seeing that as we turn over to Abraham Parker for the continuation of Front Page Africa.
A Saturday indeed has been pronounced. The front page African newspaper is our next stop. Oh yes, too many interesting bylines, moving top stories. Linking top stories on the front page African newspaper, volume 17, number 060. Is on the Friday, March 31, 2023, and this paper is sold for $40 Liberian. Grab a paper, grab a copy of this paper, folks, and those of you watching this well, and you will know exactly what is going on, what is making news in the ballon headline printed in red. They say banking settled on the edge. What's happening right here is as Justice Besse's ruling in mortgage agreements sparks controversy among banking institutions. Oh yes, banking settled on the edge. Going down on this newspaper from the front page Africa, they say clash over buying voter cards. Clash over buying voter cards. There was another revelation and not mentioned in these papers on today that the LVE, that's the immigration officers, arrested some people, from the Sierra Leone into Grand Cape Mount, illegally registering. They are not Liberians registering, but this paper, which is the front page Africa newspaper, says clash over buying voter cards. This one is buying voter cards. It says supporters of Bombing County Senator Maurice Atima, others on probe for alleged pre-electoral fraud acting disorder day. We'll give you that story right here coming up, but let's turn to the back page of the front page Africa newspaper. It features sports. And I don't want to be reminded as per the front page Africa, the back page of the front page Africa, which features sports. And you see the photo of Ali Injay. Ali Injay. Why are you laughing?
Because you said that you don't want to be reminded.
Ali Injay apologizes to Liberians following Lone Star African Cup of Nations elimination. Oh yes, Liberia was defeated, in this entire process, with the hope that Liberia would have qualified for the 2024 Africa Cup of Nations. But you see the photo of Ali Injay with his hands placed on the chest as if he's singing the national anthem of Liberia. But that, of course, it is an action photo, so he's been mentioned. So you see, grab yourself a copy. What did he say? He said that we should forgive him.
Let's leave it up to the citizens.
So the man, he has asked for forgiveness. Liberians should forgive him. So I read a part portion of this story. He said sometimes the way people anticipate or expect for things to happen, it doesn't just work that way. Then I'm of the belief that expectation doesn't graduate.
Yes.
And that's exactly what they put Liberia in.
Liberians had high hope for that game.
Okay, so let's take the story right here. It says supporters of Bombing County Senator Maurice Atima, others on probe for alleged pre-electoral fraud. You see the photo of former Speaker Ellis Taylor right here. And then you see the photo of Maurice Atima, the current senator of Bombing County. Yes, he is going for re-election. So the people are being linked to buying voters' car, allegedly. Let's go for this story. They say, we got information that people were buying cars since last week when the process started. On Monday, a fellow who was for settlement called David Toh, who slept in a cell last night, went to a town called Yemen in Tiwa District, Bombing County. The information we gathered is that he bought 27 cats. Ellis Tada Senatorial aspiring Bombing County. Is that a narration? Let's follow. He said, I got the news. is that Tyler sent. This story is very interesting, Samira. So this particular account is from Ellis Tyler Senatorial Aspiring. He said, we got information that people were buying cuts since last week when the process started. And on Monday, a fellow who was for Settima called, Maurice Settima called David Toole, who slept in cell last night, went to a town called Yemen in Tiwa District, Bombing County. The information we gather is that he bought 27 cuts. Ellis Tyler Senatorial Aspiring, Bombing County.
Wow. And I think these are the people who...
Yeah, so you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different cards. I come in right here. So let's get the story of the narration of Maurice Settima. He said, I got the news that Ellis Tyler sent about 15 persons there at my office, including the lady who they said did the arrest. She said there was suspicion of people buying voter cards or voting cards. They got in my office and ransacked everything, and the lady started to arrest people that work for me. Maurice Settima, the Cuban senator, Bombing County. We'll get to this story. That is the continuation coming up right here. You see Bombing County senator with his title Bombing County 1. Okay, so we'll cross over. Let's see issues making news in the next paper. Samira, indeed. As we move on, too many interesting developments today for the 4 local dailies. But let's cross over to my colleague to bring you things making news in the next paper.
And so many interesting stories on this Friday, which is the last day in March. Crossing over to the Inquirer newspaper is volume 33, number 40 of today, March 31st, 2023. And this paper is sold for 40 Liberian dollars. The first headline here, which is printed in red, it says, world leaders keen on strengthening democracy as we avows transparency in elections. And definitely we are going to take a look at this story. But before that, let's look at the second story on the Inquirer newspaper front page. It says, mainstreaming gender convert targets human security. And that was the program that was held at the University of Liberia campus on yesterday. Flipping down, it says, D. Maxwell Kimia leads delegation to Washington, D.C., holds talk at State Department. And here you can see the footage of Mr. Maxwell Kimia with a red necktie. Turning over to the back page of the Inquirer newspaper, it says VIP Taylor named education as CDC's flagship initiative. And the last story here at the back page of the Inquirer newspaper says, LNBA holds annual General Assembly today. And that is the Liberia National Bar Association. And it says that it holds annual General Assembly today. Now let's take a look at world leaders keen on strengthening democracy As president, we vows transparency in elections. Okay, so it reads, President Weah has reiterated that he will strengthen our democratic credentials and showcase Liberia as a bastion of democracy in Africa. The Liberian leader who joined other leaders and champions of democracy for the second United States Democracy Summit, reminded the forum how during his visit to Washington last December, he affirmed his commitment to free, fair, transparent, and peaceful presidential and legislative elections due in October this year. President Weah re-emphasized his commitment on Thursday, March 30th, 2023, virtually telling the world about his country's democratic words and tracing how a struggle to strengthen and effectuate democracy are for shared benefit of all citizens and the rest of the world. In a statement, Weah informed the global gathering that Liberia has successfully implemented every commitment made aimed at strengthening and safeguarding democracy at home and abroad. And so that does it for the Inquirer newspaper. As we now turn to April Parker for our discussion. And yes, of course, we are going to entertain cause so that citizens can make their view on the latest story. And that is the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf going back to the UP politics.
And certainly the smiling lady with the story from the Inquirer newspaper, a return. Okay, this is where we are. This story is very interesting. Clutch over buying voter cards. Oh, yes. The last time we were here, we talked about the issue of the unavailability of funding to the National Elections Commission, which are all contributing factors to irregularities to election matters in Liberia. So you see what is happening. People have started buying voter cards. The voting card, the people started buying it. Oh, word.
And I think we will talk a little about that because that's an interesting one.
Yeah, too many things are happening around the country since the start of the voter registration exercise. This biometric. You see the photos. You see the guys who they say they're buying that photo. So there are people who are coming from Maserati. As per the photos, they got people from Maserati. They're from Bomi, but then if you look at the team, people from Maserati, Grand Cape, man. So what kind of voting card they buying here now? What kind of people they so? Let me just get a gist. Yeah, let me get a gist. Okay, so as per the latest information, the executive mansion happening now, President Weah registers to vote in the October 2023 elections. So the president, the photo of the president is right there. So the president is observing his constitutional right to as well. We'll follow that development too as well. They say police in Monroe are investigating two supporters of Bomi County Senator Maurice Tillman for allegedly purchasing biometric voter registration cards for prospective voters to influence the outcome of the election results in favor of his political leader. Liberians are expected to go to the polls on October of this year to elect their new leaders, according to a timetable released by the National Elections Commission. As part of the process, the biometric voter registration exercise commenced on Monday, March 20th. Incumbent Senator Setoma is seeking re-election, while Tyler is contesting for the post for the second time. Tyler was defeated in the 2020 senatorial elections by Senator Edwin Mervyn Snow. suspects, that's Moises Conan and David Nto, who are supporters of Senator Settleman, were detained and charged for alleged electoral fraud at the Zone 6 police station in Liberia-VOL, outside Monrovia, based upon a complaint filed by an agent of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency identified as Rosalind P. Taco. They slept behind bars and were released, Edit tells the Monde. The case was filed when residents of the Wonhan raised alarm after news broke out that the suspects were allegedly buying voters' registration cards from eligible voters for the amount of 1,500 Liberian dollars. In US dollar is $9.75 in favor of the incumbent. The citizens blew their alarm when it was noticed that a similar ad was reportedly ongoing in Yamantown. Three other unidentified persons believed to be supporters of Tyler were also charged for the alleged commission of crime of disorderly conduct. Both Settleman and Tyler were spotted at the police station to release their various supporters up to the early morning hours of Thursday, March 30. The case has been forwarded to the headquarters of the Liberia National Police in Monrovia. And that's one of the reasons normally we say be careful with politicians. Sometimes they don't have, real intention for you. But let's go over to our talking point this morning. If that has to do with the Unity Party, it concerns all Unity partisans and supporters of the former ruling party, Unity Party, as per the information, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is back in UP's politics. Is this information something to really hold to? I mean, what runs to mind? If you see, a hairline of such, what runs to mind?
I can say it's something to hold to because this information was given by, somebody that when he say something about the party, they can say yes. Yeah, going down, if you turn to page 10, you'll get to know who sent in the information, who the Oracle News Daily got the information from. I read that paper this morning, and it was Amos Twe, Unity Party National Secretary. He was the one who confirmed the pair have been meeting and recently met. And he was the one who gave all of the information. So I think it's something for us to wait, hold on to it and see what will be the outcome. Because it was the secretary who gave this information. So I think it's something factual.
So I'm so concerned, fellow Liberians, those of you watching and listening. If you look at this paper, smiling former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, in this particular paper from the Oracle News Daily, reporting nothing but the truth. According to them, the whole Liberians, the truth. They said former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is linking up with her Unity Party nearly after 6 years of separation. So information has it that the former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has been holding talks with former Vice President Joseph Yuma Boaka. But this is where we are. There was a question asked here that it said that that particular question from Joseph Boaka to former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, that the paper says, when Boaka asked, so how do you see the country?
Her reply. Yeah, her reply caught my attention this morning also. It did.
Samira, there has been this hold and pull in the news, even during the 2017 election, that former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had to played blind eyes on the current standard bearer of the Unity Party.
Yes.
You can remember there was an interview where the former president was asked, you say, now, in the that was just the 2017 elections. You say, who are you supporting? Your former or your current vice president will be contesting for the Liberian presidency. You see, in our common understanding was, he's a man. He will campaign for himself like the way we campaign. Judging back, this former president was very instrumental when doing the groundbreaking ceremony. Was it the loafer role? Was it the loafer role when the current president, but then a candidate on the coalition ticket, when he was touring the counties? And then the border, was it the loafer road? I think that was the loafer from Banga Loafer Road.
Yeah.
When was it the loafer or Ganta Road? Something, that's the loafer. I want to verify that information. When the former president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, turned over the shovels to the current president to be part of the groundbreaking ceremony. Liberians, unity partisans felt that the former president was very supportive of the current regime. She was being supportive of the current regime. So if you saw the way in which the election went, people believe that the former president was key to have supported the current regime. So according to former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf here, when Bouaka asked, so how do you see the country? The 18 leaders said, okay, so probably as per the talks they've been having, Samira.
Over and over, because the paper said that they had their meeting.
So I'm key, right? I'm very key on this particular development. What runs to mind? You were allegedly, right? Let's say you were accused of supporting me. And then the producer, Daniel Sirleaf, saw it at the time of, like, you not supporting and you supporting me. Now you went to Sirleaf or Daniel Sirleaf to have conversation. That's a typical example, fellow Liberians.
Yeah, it says that United Party expelled Johnson Sirleaf in January 2018, with party leaders accusing of heading in last year's presidential elections, in which Bouaka suffered a bruising defeat.
So you see, so what happens? What runs to mind? So okay, let's put it in this case now, right? Simple example. They accuse you of supporting me, and time went by. Daniel was your man, right? You're your guy. You've been operating and stuff, and then certain time came, you just slide and you came to me. So now you went to Daniel now. So you asked Daniel, or Daniel asked you, okay, man, you were accused. That I don't want to talk about. But how do you see the country? Let's listen to former President Ellen Johnson respond. He said, how do you see the country? He said, the 18 leader said she was displeased. She was displeased. They said the pair blamed the breakdown in relationship or competing interest of rival supporters within the party. So she was not satisfied as per the running of the country as it stands. So what runs to mind? Let's look at page 10 before we can have you participating.
Yeah, page 10 is just a short writing you can read out.
Yes, so
very short.
Let's get to page 10 of the newspaper. Okay, hope we can chase page 10 on the Oracle newspaper that talks about Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, former Liberia's president, backing UP's politics. Hope we can get page 10 right here. Oh, yes. Which one of the flats taking us there? And we are just right there on page 10 of the Oracle newspaper. That is continuation of this story right here. They say perhaps the greatest Liberian president effort based on her genius. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is back on base
Yes.
providing strategies and direction for the former ruling party return to power
She's providing strategies
and direction
and direction.
for the former ruling party to return to power. Amos Stewart, Unity Party's National Secretary General, confirmed the pair have been meeting and recently met. Yes, Mistress Sirleaf and our standard bearer have been meeting. They are not enemies. They met recently. He told the News Daily. That's the Oracle News Daily. We don't want to talk about expulsion from the Unity Party in 2017, but that's the development coming right. Okay. So let's get it. Say Unity Party expelled Ellen Johnson Sirleaf in 2018, with party leaders accusing her of meeting in the last year's presidential elections in which Bwaka suffered a bruising defeat. They say the behavior of the expelled presidents constitutes sabotage and undermined the existence of the party, said the statement announcing the decision which was taken by the party's executive committee. Look at, they say Sirleaf denied the party's allegation that she had inappropriate private meetings with election magistrates before the October 10 VOL. So we want to look at this development right now that talks about Ellen back in UP's politics, fellow Liberians. And those of you watching, what brings to mind as per the information coming up from the Oracle newspaper that former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is back in Liberia. That's the Unity Party's politics. What brings to mind?
And what runs to the UP, citizens or partisans,
Supporters, partisans, yeah.
What are your take on this? What do you think? Yeah, these are some of the questions we are to ask the UP partisans.
So one of the reasons why we decided to give you a backdrop of what happened in 2017 was to give you a clue. Yes, as per this particular information, the National Secretary General of the Unity Party has
Mr.
confirmed.
Tswe.
Amos Stewart has confirmed that the people have been meeting. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Bwaka has been meeting. So people are wondering as to whether if this narration is why the former vice president has been delaying to name this vice running mate. People are concerned. So if this information is out, this could be, is it a tangible reason why the former vice president has delayed or has been reneging on naming who will be his vice running mate in the October polls?
And the two of us here cannot say yes and we cannot say no, because till Mr. Bwaka comes up with his VP, then we can say, oh, it was this he had been waiting for. Yeah.
Let's
But
get the
we'll
views
we'll leave
of
it
our Unity
also.
partisans and supporters of the Unity Party and Liberians from all walks of life as per this story. Call us on 0770 907 907 0880 907 907. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is back in UP's politics. That's the headline on the Oracle newspaper. Have your say right here on this particular development. Okay, so our first caller is on line 2 of... Good morning. That person is out. 0770 907 907 0880 907 907, and you will be live. What is your take as per the Oracle newspaper that former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is back? Let's talk to this person.
Good morning.
Fine, good morning, sir.
Okay, you gotta walk away from your monitor. The feedback.
Good morning, how are you doing?
I'm okay. Your name?
Good, I'm To.
Okay, so where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Johnsonville.
All right, so go ahead.
My take on the matter is it is a welcoming information. If the former vice president and the former president are meeting, because the former president is an icon, political icon in this country. And so if she and the former vice president are meeting, it points to the direction of being successful because she has the model of authority politically in this country. And so if she is providing the way forward or discussing with the former vice president, it will produce a welcoming result.
Okay, let's talk to this person.
The person left the
Will
line.
be announced.
Okay, so
Okay, another
yeah,
call.
this person is line. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. This
Go-
is Ma Cyril. I call from here, David Junction.
Let's hear your my favor. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you ever so much for what you just explained. You see, what happened now is conscience. 12 years, Mr. Baka conscience and Mr. Baka stood with Ma Ellie for 12 years, and she let him down. And thank this, she coming. It's a done deal for the Unity Party. Thank you.
I like that.
We have another caller.
So you're gonna take that call. Take that call very shortly. Take it. Okay.
Okay, so good morning.
Yeah, good morning. This
Yeah.
is Emmanuel. This is Emmanuel Richardson. I joined the conversation from Upper Carwell.
All right, go ahead, Emmanuel.
Yeah. Well, I pray that people will manage the expectation. Today, there are people who celebrating. Yeah, when I studying Boga talking, the election finish. I hope after the result, they should be willing to accept. Because the one thing I noticed from Unity Party, they always share blame. They will come and say, "Oh, we're running our party, go early can't spoil our whole party. The Omaya, she don't want to spoil our party." So I hope today you people, celebrating and you're happy that, Unity Party. In fact, that's the reason why I believe that the reason why Manasari even demand that you say to go back because like, Omen Boga, the men too slow in making decisions. So like Manasari went back to put in the moment you gotta get up and running mate. And they have to be very careful. That woman, she's a smart woman. And Manasari said her weakness is to forgive. And you know how Manasari play her game. So people who celebrating say it's a dumb deal. I don't want tomorrow you come and say,
Okay,
the woman can't just spoil our party. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we'll take this person on line 5, or you take that person. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's hear you.
Thank you. My name is Claire Kapu and I join you for unknown definition.
Unknown what?
Unknown definition.
Why your destination should even be unknown?
No, that's not the issue, so I don't want to say my location.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I found the conversation and let's appreciate you guys for analyzing, the conversation with that. But many people have been somebody who always shift blame. And like you really said, when you follow the 2017 elections, before even the election, the Unity Party to expel Manasari quote unquote on the basis because you were in line with the Baka family. So today they are passing around now Manasari, dashing around. But mind you now, if anything goes on wrong, comes October 10 or after October 10, the thing that will be on the radio passing all around, Manasari come to the party and Baka didn't take notice of that and Manasari has fought, Manasari has made Baka to now win the election. But I want to say this to them. Be careful and move in line and know who to be your friend.
Okay, my
Thank you so
brother.
kindly.
Yes, you will take that call.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just away from your receiver, please.
Good morning.
I'm Eunice calling from Mama Point.
Okay, Eunice, go ahead.
The whole game here is a whole wine in a new bottle. The people can win election will tell the people's story. We'll take care of each other.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. This person.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Mr. Ben. I'm calling from Tottenham Bay.
Tottenham
Really
Borough.
bummed out.
Okay, let's hear you.
Yeah, Madam Salif and Mr. Barker were the same two people that squandered our country's economy.
So if the two of them comes together, it doesn't matter for us. So we want to see them. Because at the same people, they will not move from behind one another. Thank you.
Thank you for bombing. Samira, please take that call.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Your name and where do you join us from?
My name is Howard now calling from Bon County.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for the show.
No.
We have to be careful about my hearing coming back because someone can work with you 12 years and you don't know their behavior, you don't trust them to give them authority. Then at the dying minute, she coming back again to give support. You know, sometimes Unity Party lose the election because they believe that my hearing spent 12 years. So they couldn't give another more chance. So we're coming back again and we almost be like, my hearing is coming to rule this country. So I think let's just let Joseph Boga to play his game the way he knows it. And when he wins, let it be on his success. I think that would be good for Liberia.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where do you join us from?
This is Joseph Tuale, Mosorano, Chair of the Unity Party Intellectual Response Bureau.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, calling from District 2.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, I'm speaking as individual now. I'm not speaking for the party or because I'm a staff of the party. I'm not speaking. But for me, I need Braga need to be careful with Helen. Every slap Braga and about 2017, we expected Helen to support us. He never did. And man is Helen that plenty ability all around. You see how the party is looking? Helen want to suggest to Braga who to choose as our president. So the confusion can come in Unity Party and all around, you know, the other parties in that try to reconcile with us. So that woman is very, I mean, she know how to play a politics. She has tried, I mean, coming and destroy the CPP, the news ability, the government news ability, and she was supporting it. And how much she supported coming. So our leaders need to be careful how she coming to say she didn't want brother. I mean, when she visited the party headquarters, some part of when that from there the people decided to suspend women pay and all those kind of things. The whole party, I mean, the confusion started in that party. So she coming again. The crucial time we are fighting, talking for the party there and then we on radio preaching Braga. Make your own decision. Don't let any to influence you. Heading is not in your interest. You will not be president.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good morning. Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Steven. I join you from a resident on Brush Street.
Let's hear you. Go ahead, Stevens.
Yeah, I want to say to you guys, thank you for the unique discussion at the hour.
Mm-hmm.
But to be frank, man, I just said coming back to the United Party is a calculation plan.
Calculated plan? What do you mean?
Yeah, that plan created from the CDC. And I can show you with that, the CDC going to get United Party double defeat. She coming to give her own point of view to the party to make him more defeated. It will not be a good thing for him. Shouldn't yourself when you're will be power plan for him.
Okay, brother. Thanks so kindly. 0775. That's 0770907907. Take the call from the 5. Okay.
Good morning.
Yes, the first caller that brought pressure on our Ghana call. The woman who battle Unity Party. Mr. Wakashi to talk with Arizona Kumi. He failed to introduce a running mate. Waka not done it, he had not done it. So my Eddie told me she wants to put two of them together because Arizona will not go talk with the papi. The papi ashamed to go talk because the boys behind him will tell him, say, don't go there. So she wants to put both people together.
That's how you see it.
Now, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks so kindly. Okay, so we'll take 2 calls. Yeah, then we'll call it a day on this edition of today's paper. Take the call from just, okay.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Your name and where you join us from?
I'm joining from Nipple Street. I'm Taylor.
Okay, your name.
Unistiller.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, for my Ellen and Joseph Waka, it was planned, and they will not succeed. God is exposing them, and God will expose them before the election, and will carry money we are again back. Nobody can play with our intelligence in the country.
All right, thank
They are
you.
the same
Thank
people.
you. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll take a call, just a call a day. So who is that lucky caller? 07709079070880. Okay, so take the person on line 5. Take the person. Okay.
Good morning.
Morning.
Walk away from your monitor.
Okay, I'm away from it.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, you know, it's funny because of what Manaseri has done. Manaseri last interview on the ERBC, she said she's still a Unity Palace. She really want to come around Unity Palace, but the people are afraid of her. Now, one of the things that Unity Palace people need to understand, Manaseri didn't have any problem with Baka. Manaseri had problem with Councillor Sherman and the Secretary General at that time. And Baka was aligning with them. Now, Manaseri have come to her senses now that she have really done wrong to someone that helped her all that time. Anybody people need to understand that Manaseri have done a lot of damage, dangerous work for this government. And it's clear for Baka not to become president. Now, why she coming to help him?
That's how you see it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They need to embrace her. She coming with good intention now.
Okay. Thanks so kindly for joining us. Okay, so we got to go on this edition of today's paper. Yeah, the views of Liberians on this development. The former president Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is back in Unity Party's politics. Well, once a man, Samira, we got to go home on this weekend edition of today's paper. Okay. So let's give you the reviews of papers we've been following on this edition. So on the Friday's edition, we featured the Oracle News of Delhi and
the Daily Observer newspaper.
On my far left, we have the Front Page Africa newspaper and
the Inquirer newspaper.
On this edition of the show, this is how I would like to wrap up on this Friday's edition of today's paper. Join us on Monday at 11. But before we go, a parting comment for the weekend.
I would like to say so many things going on in the country right now. And just enjoy yourself for the weekend and get ready for Monday.
Okay. So let's quickly notice before we go, those of you who've been following the edition today, that's Director Molushan Balema says, good work, thanks for following us. We're there from my Gibby. David Flomo says, David Wild Flomo watching from Far East to my Gibby. Morris Bappe the second said, good morning, I'm from Johnsonville. Dr. Wito says, hi, viewer watching. Okay, so April and Prosperous Johnson says, good morning, Voice of Liberia, following from my office here in Sinka. Daniel K. Bimba says, good work, sorry. And Kanto Due says, Madam President doesn't even have the energy to participate in any election. The old man is resting and they should not be bringing her name to front page. Hey. Pond Johnson, Pond Johnson says the fact remains that CDC can never win the Unity Party in a transparent and clean election. The 2017 election was completed rigged. So we'll talk to you. We'll be here on Monday. Sorry. To then, it has been an Abraham Parker and
Samiria Online
production. Till we talk to you, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Mwah.